I wish I had your lobbies. One of the most overused phrases by gamers who are not exactly that skilled. I'm gonna give you a little bit of rundown how SBMM works for y'all that say, I wish I had your lobbies, but because you do. All of us pretty much have the same lobbies, and I'll show you why. The first thing I want you to do is go over to barracks, okay? Go to your stats, go to your combat record, and look at the KD. You're gonna see I have a 4.06 KD. 2 wins. I don't play for wins. I just like running around killing people. On Resurgent, you'll see I have a 3.87. I'll tell you why it's a little lower. I did a lot of dumb stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, and it kind of tanked my KD. I'm not gonna lie. 70 wins, blah, 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 blah. But I want you to look at your KD. What do you have for Battle Royale? What do you have for Resurgence? If you look at the little chart that I made here, I have a 4 KD, which means I am above the majority. If you have a 0.4 KD or lower, you suck. No, I'm just kidding. The way that we're going to look at this is we have the 8 KD, which is the top anchor, and we have the bottom anchor named Where Are My Thumbs? These are people that have never played a video game in their life. They could also be small children that have zero dexterity in their fingers and can't really play. There's guys that you see staring at the ground, looking at a gun for about 30 seconds, trying to figure out which button what does. And then they pick up the gun and it takes them another 30 seconds to look around. Now, the way this works is the majority of players are between 0.8 KD and 1.2 KD. That's the majority of players. That's like 90% of the player base. So if I'm a 4 KD, I will face the majority of 1.2 players. So the majority of players in my lobby will still be a 1.2. The reason for this is there are not enough players that are 2 KD, 3 KD, 4 KD in my region online at that time, queuing up at the exact same time I am playing. There will be a few, but the chances of me running into them are far in between. So the majority of people that you will see in my games in my lobby are 1.2 KD players. It's not that I'm playing bot lobbies or nothing. That's just the way that it works. And the higher your KD is, the more it's going to anchor towards the top. So the 8 KD players are going to get more of the 4 KDs and more of the 2 KDs if they are online queuing up at that exact time. If they are not, it's going to be these 1.2 KD players, because that is the biggest pool to pull from. Now, the Where Are My Thumbs players, being the lowest in the bracket, honestly, I think they are completely protected. I don't think anybody could do anything to get into those lobbies, which is good. Let them learn how to play and then put them into normal lobbies. But the 0.4 KD players are going to anchor the 0.8 KD players. So the majority is going to be pulled down, and it's going to give the lesser skilled, which is still a large majority, but it's going to anchor the bottom half to be pulled down into their lobbies. Every once in a while, you might see a 0.8 or a 0.4 in a 4 KD lobby, because that is the pool to pull from. So if you're a 0.4 or 0.8, it's a lot easier to pull the anchor down, because that is where the majority come from, is the less skilled players, people who don't play every day, just dads hopping on to play sometimes, little kids and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to pull downwards than it is to pull upwards, because there's a lot less skilled players. And you can't get better by just playing. You have to know how to practice your aim, your movement, and all that stuff. It's not just like the more you play, the better you get. Like, there's a degree of learning the game that you get, but you have to practice your aim. So the people that are saying, like, I wish I had your lobbies, you probably either do or you have easier lobbies depending on your KD. And again, even if you're in the lower bracket of players, you might get a crazy sweat in your lobby that you're playing against, just because that's who is online at the time, queuing up at the exact time that you are in the server, that you are in the around the location. Okay, like, it's what I'm basically saying is we all have the same lobbies.